Want to switch gears right now and go back to our Nick Carboni, who is live in San Antonio because, you know, the Blue Devils lost over the weekend. So if you're a Duke fan, sorry. But there are ties anyway to North Carolina because there is a local guy from Lake Norman, right, Nick?
Yeah, how about that, Jane? We've got Micah Handlogten, who is a center for Florida. He is from Lake Norman, went to South Lake Christian School in Huntersville, and he's a great story. Hopefully he has played pretty much through this run for the Gators here late in the season and the tournament. Hopefully we see him out there at the Alamo Dome tonight. But Micah broke his leg, a pretty really shocking and scary injury last year during the SEC tournament for Florida. It was so bad that his parents had to come down on the floor and they looked visibly shaken. It was a scary moment on TV. It was one of those they didn't show the replays a lot of. So Micah obviously was rehabbing and trying to come back from that this year. He was actually going to sit this entire season out and take a red shirt, but then the Gators got going and he's like, you know, I could push myself a little more to try and get back on the court for Florida. So we caught up with Micah in the locker room yesterday to talk about this amazing journey and the fact that now he's playing for a national championship tonight.
I mean, it's a dream come true. I really couldn't write it up any better. The fact that I was able to come out of my redshirt this year and come out and partake and be a part of this team that's made it so far, and that has goals to win one more game, and that's the national championship. I don't really know how to put it to words, but just be able to not take anything for granted. Like, this is really my life. Like, I'm so blessed to be here and to have these guys around me.
Seems like he has a great attitude, Nick. What can we expect from both of these teams tonight?
Physicality and defense. Both of these teams play really good defense. They're very physical, and you saw that in each of their semifinal games where each had to come back and rally to win. And a lot of that starts on the defensive end. In fact, the Florida coach, Todd Golden, said yesterday, look, we might have to put pads on. That's how physical it's going to get, especially with some of these big bodies for each of these teams down low. And we saw Houston against Duke on Saturday night. We saw the reason they're the #1 defense in the country. They held Duke to one field goal in the final 10.5 minutes of that ball game. That's basically one of the best offensive teams we've seen in a long time in college basketball, and that's what they did to them. So, we'll see what they have for Florida tonight. But, Florida started its season, one of its earliest games was in Charlotte, Jane, and they played North Carolina. Man, that's when I really realized how good they were, and they've been good the whole way. Houston, though, they're red hot. They've won 18 straight, and I'm going with the Cougars, honestly, because if we thought Duke was the team of destiny, I think Houston kind of just ripped that team of destiny tag off of Duke and put it and pinned it to themselves, with their storylines, with Coach Kelvin Sampson, with the fact that they haven't done it. Jim Nantz, former current CBS broadcaster, but former Final Four broadcaster, who's stepped back from that. He's a huge Houston fan. He's going to be in the building. All the former players that we've heard about from the Phi Slamma Jamma teams of the 80s, Hakeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler are going to be here. It's in Texas. It just feels like it's their turn now, but we'll see later tonight.
Wow, it seems like it's going to be a good time. You're saying that Houston's going to take it. I can feel that. With everyone being dominant here in the Final Four, what is your takeaway? What are your impressions after seeing so many of these national tournaments, Nick?
Yeah, so everybody wants to say, oh, Cinderella is dead, and that NIL and the infusion of money and pay for play and transfer portal has killed any chance that we'll get a Cinderella again. This is just 1 year, right? I know it's all 1 seeds in the finals, and nobody, with a big high seed number made a deep run, but I actually think NIL and transfer portal helps some of those mid-major teams if they do it correctly, and even small major teams, if they do it correctly and recruit well and have some investment. I think Cinderella will be back next year. We just haven't seen it in this tournament, but that's led to this big powerhouse Final Four of all these major programs.
Yeah, good point. And I mean, it's fun to see everyone being dominant and sort of on equal footing. So looking forward to tonight. Thank you, Nick Carboni, our sports director, live in San Antonio. We'll see you soon. Safe travels back to the Queen City.
Yep.